highway pavement and airfield pavement. In airfield payment, you'll observe some portion rigid payment, some portion flexible payment. So here, what we are trying to compare or find the difference between these two payments is what are the parameters with which. So here, when you want to construct a highway payment, it depends. It is directly dependent on what. It is dependent on the traffic intensity. For example, in urban road, arterial roads are there. Okay, for example, this in Belgium, if you want to consider this particular stretch from Congress Road, you can take, or we can take this from Third Gate to Piranwadi, particular stretch. Uh, so this particular road is 6 lane. From there, uh, Third Gate to station to Bucharest to Chanama Circle. From there till the highway, it is of 4 lane paved shoulder, and the reason behind that is the traffic intensity is very high. Hmm? This is the arterial road of Belgium city. Similarly, you go to any metropolitan cities, there will be the main arterial roads will be there. Then sub-arterial road is it is feeding the arterial roads. Sub-arterial roads, or it may be collector streets, smaller, getting into the road or getting off the road, right? Means he is entering, he is trying to go to the particular destinations. For that, he is using a road, right? So arterial roads, maximum traffic will be there, and that traffic, it is directly influencing the number of lanes. Means it is demanding number of lanes. Earlier, this road was 2 lane. Now they have made it 6 lane. Reason, the traffic had increased a lot. Industrial area is there, many educational institutes are there, right? It has demanded for the more number of lanes, right? And it is also connecting major two states. Why there is a demand and they have increased the number of lanes. So in case of airfield payment, what will happen? In case of airfield payment, it is not dependent on the intensity of aircrafts. It is dependent on the size of or the type of airport. What is the type of the airport? What is the size of aircrafts which will be coming there? Even though it is a one aircraft or very few aircrafts will be landing there, depends on those aircrafts, the size of the uh, airport payment will be decided, right? So, for example, a domestic airport, international airport, if you observe, no need to go no, because of Corona, you cannot go anywhere. But with the help of Google Maps, you can open Mumbai International Airport, Mumbai Domestic Airport, similarly Delhi, Bombay, Hyderabad, hmm, and you can check with Belgium City or Belgium Airport. The size and the width of the payment is depending on the aircrafts which will be coming to that particular type of airport. So it is nothing but type of the airport, which is that depends on that payment width. So here, uh, width of 2 lane highway is 7 meter. Here, in case of width, ranges from 15 meter to 60 meter. As I have mentioned, because of aircraft size, obviously you need to go for the larger width of the pavement. Gross weight of the truck is less, very less compared to that of the aircrafts. So here the dead weight of truck is in terms of hardly some 2 to 5 tons, but the dead weight of aircraft itself is high. Or to speak of passengers, including goods and passengers, it will be very high. So here it is mentioned it is up to 10 tons. Trucks, 2 XL truck if you consider to 10 tons. Here it is 80 to 250 tons, very large. And in case of highway pavement, the design wheel load for the design purpose, you need to uh, consider the design wheel load standard. We consider as 8170, 8.1 tons, 8170 kg, and respective number of repetitions that is also considered. So here wheel load, uh, design wheel load is from 10 to 20,000 ton. So it is very large compared to that of the uh, highway payments, right? And the tire pressure here also it is less, zero point 0.5 to zero point 0.7 Newton per mm square, and it is 2.76 uh, Newton per mm square. In terms of PSI, also 33, 35 PSI. So here it is large and less affected by impact load. The highways are not designed for impact load, right? Because there is no any vehicle which will be directly jumping on the highway, or directly landing, from in future. We don't know, uh, depending on the engineers. So in some of the things like emergency landing and purpose and all, that is trial is been done. That is uh, Agra Expressway, in Uttar Pradesh. Emergency landing they have tried, that can be done, but it's not designed for landing and takeoff of aircrafts. Similarly, the mm, two wheelers or four wheelers or six wheelers, it is all the pavement thicknesses are same in the highway pavements, almost the same. It is slightly in terms of few mm's or few centimeters it may vary, but it is not in terms of few meters. But in case of airfield payment, what will happen? Wherever there is landing and takeoff will be taking place, so that particular uh, part of payment is subjected for impact load. Just to, sir, how it is impact, if you want to understand. If you want to jump, then what you will do? You'll give maximum pressure at the feet, and you'll try to jump, right? So similarly, landing and takeoff. Landing, when you jump, that time automatically it is kind of impact. So in impact testing machine, when you release a load, how it will fall. Similarly, in case of landing, there is a lot of stress being induced on the pavement, so the layer thickness at the landing and takeoff will be very high. So in case of we had visited during our MTech Mangalore airport, so that is in terms of meters. Wherever the landing and takeoff is taking place, there the pavement thickness is in terms of meters, 2.5 meters, something like that. It is thickness for a very small stretch. It is done, but you can't imagine with respect to highway pavement. It is not in terms of meters. It is hardly how much, say, 30 centimeters. 30 centimeter to 45 centimeters max to max. It's not in terms of zero point 0.5 meter, 1 meter, nothing like that, right? It is very costly also. You cannot build for the entire stretch that much. And airfield pavement also, it is very for a very small stretch, that much will be there wherever landing and takeoff will taking place. But throughout the runway and taxiway, it is very less thickness will be there as per the wheel load it is designed. And the pavement is crowned at the center and elevated at the edges in case of super elevation. In case of highway pavement, wherever you come across horizontal curve, near the Srinagar garden, if you observe the highway, how it is there, it is, there is a super elevation clearly you can see, right? So in terms of few centimeters from one edge to other edge, if you observe. But in case of airfield pavement, there is no curving, there is no horizontal or vertical curve. So it is crown is always at the center only. Hmm. And distress takes place at the edge in case of highway pavements. And distress will be taking place at the center because uh, there is center wheel will be there and side wheels will be there. So maximum distress will be at the center in case of airfield pavements. And number of repetition of wheel load excels, it is maximum in case of roads. In a highway, if you observe, now corona is there, because of that the traffic movement is restricted and very less number of vehicle you will observe. But in general, if you observe the vehicular movement, especially on national highways, continuous vehicles will be moving. Or even in the urban roads, if you observe, vehicular movement is maximum. But it is very less in case of airports. Airports, for example, some international airports, if you take, definitely it will be there, but it is not as frequent as that of which you can observe in the road. Road, what will happen? below behind a car there will be another car. So likewise, a series of cars will be there running on the highway pavement, but there is no aircrafts immediately. And there will be certain gap of 10 to 15 20 minutes. If you observe very small domestic airports, then it will be very frequency is very less. Hardly some 2 to 3 aircrafts will be coming in a number of repetition of wheel load is very less. Similarly, we can talk with respect to load, tire pressure, and number of repetitions. Okay, hope the difference between highway payment and airfield payment is clear.